So we started. I started with it was the a split sign LP, which I didn't really know how to write. I didn't know how to put tracks together. I didn't know how to make beats or anything. But back in the days, I had my own apartment, and I would sacrifice the lights for studio time, maybe in hope that something I write might turn the lights back on. You never know. Sometimes I skip paying the rent. But I want to put the album together. I really love hip hop. It's kind of irresponsible. Wasn't really pushing no drugs or anything like that. Was straight laced, trying to get a job, working, bus boys and shit like that, stacking my chips, getting recycle cans, doing whatever we had to do on the gritty grind to get the studio time cracking. And so I started writing the split sign. Didn't really have a writing process. I would just write rhymes and piece stuff together and make it a song. And it was okay, but it wasn't my favorite album, so I don't really talk about it that much. But it gave me a lot of insight on how to put stuff together. Like I said, as far as a full album, putting the skits together. The theory behind the split sign is I'm a Gemini, so there was two of me. I thought I almost executed that well as far as a production standpoint, but as far as it didn't really come out how I wanted it. So I scrapped that one. I put that in the vault. It was really in a safe in the vault. The only copy, and the 30 copies I pressed. If you guys have them, hit me up. I'll buy them back from you. You know what I'm saying? But we moved on and we started recording. It was the birth of a legacy, and it's kind of funny because when I originally started trying to record this album, I was calling studios everywhere, and this is before studios were kind of a dime a dozen, and you had home studios and everything like that. But you would call, and if you say I'm trying to book some studio time, and they would ask you what type of music it is, and I'd be like, yeah, it's hip hop. And if they didn't hang up on you, or then they give you the price, and and at the time it'd be like $200 an hour. So sometimes you find somebody with a home studio, and they would give it to you for like 30, 40, $50. I think I was paying $50 an hour at the time. And you would go in there, and you record, in a bedroom or in a closet or whatever. Sound came out still good. Some people had some quality sounds. Sometimes they come out a little muffled. You wouldn't go back or whatever. But but we started recording this Birth of a Legacy with the guy that showed me how to kind of put tracks together. And for my first album, The Split Sign, and me and my cousin decided to book a real studio and go ahead and record this album for a weekend, a couple weekends or whatever. And it came out, really, really good. I had to give shout out to my cousin G13 because, when I was watching him, I remember the first time he came to the crib. We was getting ready to record like a 5-song demo, which, you did demos back in the day. So we had 5 songs, and I remember we were going over bars, and he was going over his bars, and I remember looking at my bars, and I was like, damn, my shit is garbage. So he helped me step my game up for that Birth of a Legacy. I went back and rewrote a bunch of shit and got, in a good zone. We got in a good vibe, and then we recorded the first 5 songs, and I'm kind of a weirdo that way because I like to keep projects going. So I was like, well, let's just do a whole album. And we started doing the whole album, and then after that, we dropped that, and G13 kind of went in trans mode. And I remember one day he's like, I'm gonna record my solo album, and he went in there and did 6-7 breaths, and the whole album was done. It was like a day and a half or something, 2 days. He just went there and just breathed on the mic like 2-3 days in a row and just dropped like 13, 14 tracks, and it was high. I was like, oh, okay. So had the Under the Underground. That was our other album. Well, I was on it, but it's G13's album, and I still consider it our album. I think it's one of the top in the catalog. He's got one of the songs, LACA, and I remember he went in on that track, and me and Detox was watching him just go, and I thought he was gonna do a verse and drop out and then do another verse and then come back and do the hook and stuff, but he just blazed the whole track and fucking hook, verse, hook, whatever, one breath, and then he got done. He's like, well, I didn't really like it, I'm gonna cut that shit. Me and Detox looked at each other like, you out of your fucking mind? Like, no, that shit is done. He doubled it. It was fucking fire. But that was the next process. We got a little, kind of got a little savvy in there. You know what I'm saying? He got in the mics and got savvy. We kind of got some realized it's about style and cadence and, getting the right tempo and the right flow on the beat. It really wasn't about just making rap songs. It was about filling the track and, okay, this beat's making me do this and say the rhymes like that. And, you kind of get in this groove. And my cousin, he'll let me know straight up, that shit wasn't working, or, keep doing it until you like it. You know what I'm saying? I'm real particular because I never like anything I spit. It's, I don't know, it's a weirdo thing in me, but I never like any of that shit. But I get in the booth and we spit, and the collab has always been great. I always like recording my cousin because we got like a 20-year history of recording together, so we really get a good vibe together. I remember we went to Atlanta, and this lady was like, "Oh, you giving us a CD?" She's like, "You guys are a group, so what I got to worry about you guys breaking up in like 3 or 4 years once I get into your style or whatever?" And it was like, "Nah, man, we fam. We've been recording for 20 plus years. You ain't got to worry about none of that or whatever." So I think it's cool that we get a chance to record together for this long and document together. Very rarely two people get the chance to record and get a chance to go ahead and make this, music and collab together. And I always got to hold him back sometimes. Sometimes he be dropping some rhymes like, "Yo, man, what the fuck?" You can't be putting me on that shit. And then sometimes I tell him go ham. I was like, whatever, put me to G13 lyrics. He always knows that's like the USDA stamp of approval. Like if I give you a G13 lyric, it's probably going to be the most goriest, grimiest, sickest rhyme you ever heard, because I just took the veil off the beast and let him do his thing. Anyway, but we record, with this last one, this birth, that's not the one. This last one, the Curse of the Bars. This one was fun. We have our own studio, and we was able to really get in and get a good vibe, get some tracks that we don't got to worry about. Sometimes we get tracks we got to worry about clearing samples, and sometimes that's not really easy on the independent circuit and all. But this one's, ready to go, and we got a chance to really get in, write some rhymes. And like, it's funny because my cousin would drop something, and then I go in the booth and drop something, and then we go back and listen to it. And he listens to it all the time. It's funny because he'll ride around in his car and listen to it all the time. But I have a habit of not listening to tracks until the whole project's completely done. So we record and I just put them away, unless we got to do some retakes on them. But I just record them and put them away. And then once I record them and put them away, the song, once we do the full album, then we find the order, and then I'll just listen to it over and over and over and over and vibe out to it. And it's pretty much my finished project. I go back, I listen to the finished one, and find out the order, change shit around, you know what I mean? Find out if we're going to put some interludes, some skits in, find out the flow. Sometimes we cut songs, it's like, nah, this didn't fit. I remember our first album, we cut like 5-6 songs I thought would definitely make it. Call that the Lost Tapes. We never talk about that album either. But yeah, sometimes we'll cut it, and then we'll release, and I'll just listen to it for like 5 months straight and just zone out to it. And then, we put the project out.